After playing The Last of Us Part 2, it's safe to say I'm not okay. My heart is truly broken, and since the game has left me feeling depressed and hurt in the deepest way, I decided to compile my thoughts into a review. Although it's probably wiser to call this a bit of therapy since that's what I'll need after the end of this game. If you played Last of Us Part 1, then you know that this game is set in a broken dystopian world where it seems only the worst aspect of humanity is thriving. So why does Part 2 begin in a happy little town full of people where kids are actually playing in the snow? If you're thinking this is a trap, then you're right. How can everything be so perfect in a world full of zombies? Everything looks far too good to be true, and if it looks that way, then chances are it is, because this is just the calm before the storm. No, literally. A big ass snowstorm is on the way and brings the most built woman on the planet along with it. Abby and her friend, Owen, the one with the smaller muscles, appear to be looking for someone.
That girl has muscles bigger than his head.
Owen eventually gives up and leaves her to it, like, bye Felicia. She continues her desperate trek towards a town when all of a sudden she is attacked by the infected and her face is about to be eaten by the nasties. Luckily, Joel the Saviour comes in and rescues her big ass. Turns out he should have probably let them eat her, because the person she was looking for was Joel.
Tommy, that's Joel. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby, you okay?
Guys! As soon as he said that's Joel, she looked at him funny.
And you can tell he's the one she was looking for during this exact moment when she gives him the ultimate evil side eye, reminding you of this guy. And then this happens.
Tommy, this is my brother.
Joe.
Oh, look at them.
Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
Guys.
Because they have.
It is clear this woman has some kind of score to settle with Joel, as she isn't about to make his death easy. We all cling on to the hope that Ellie might come and save Joel the way he saved her before it was too late, but by the time she gets there, it's far too late. In this moment, my heart literally broke. We all felt the depth of Ellie's emotions in that moment, and let me tell you, my heart has never broken like this before whilst playing a game. Oh, but wait, there was that one time back when I was a kid in Sephiroth. The emotional trauma I've had from games is another story altogether. In an act of complete defiance and sheer bravery, Naughty Dog chooses to kill off one of the most loved characters in the game. We now have to live with the impossible reality of having to let go of Joel, the best dad ever. Or will we? Because we are given another outlet for our sense of loss, the almost instinctual one in this broken world, hunting the hunters. We are going to get revenge. Ellie is going to get revenge.
I'd prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking
I
happen.
prefer that you stay, but I know you better.
As we commence the hunt for the hunters, we learn what enrages and fuels Ellie's request for revenge. Her love for Joel, her memories of him, their bond and relationship as father figure and daughter, but there is also a darker side of their relationship. Ellie finally learns the truth about what happens at the hospital. She is full of anger and frustration and pain. She laments that he took away the ability for her life to mean something. He took that decision from her.
Don't you fucking touch me! I'll go back. But we're done.
It seems that Ellie and Joel, despite having much love between them, suffered from a fractured relationship since then. And fractured relationships like this are seen throughout the game with various characters like Abby and Owen, and Dina and Jesse. I still am not over how abruptly he died, to be honest. But this equally broken world these unfortunate souls live in is home to a number of different freaky-ass groups, each freakier than the next. First, we are introduced to the Wolves, the one built Abby is in. They want to dominate as much land as possible. Secondly, we come across a group called the Seraphites, who leave behind a trail of macabre displays of the sacrificial slaughtering. And lastly, we have the misguided group called the Rattlers. They too love to torture people and treat them like animals. All three groups have a few things in common, attempting to rule with fear and showing that the only monster here is mankind, period. Yes, the infected are monsters and have well and truly lost their minds and so cannot be blamed for their actions in a sense. But the last of us, the ones that remain, the ones not infected, Are they any different from those flesh-eating shells of people that roam the world? The ones not infected hunt and kill just as the infected do, which is far more frightening, because whilst the infected kill mindlessly, the uninfected kill with intent, with purpose. So in this game, when we ask ourselves, what have we become? It's less about the infected and far more to do with the last of us. To those of you angry that Abby lived in a world where people mindlessly kill, you have missed the point entirely, my friend. This game is clearly condemning revenge and senseless rage, but more than that, it's subtly asking us to consider what man has become, what rage and power has made of man. So yes, Abby lives, but at what cost? Let's not forget that Abby too sadly encounters more than her fair share of karma for what she does to Joel. She is attacked and hung by the Seraphites, cast out by her own people, beaten, tortured, starved, hung again by the Rattlers, finally nearly drowned by Ellie. Abby and Ellie's stories are paralleled in a way to reveal to us that these girls are haunted by the same demons. Their pain is the same, but with different causes. They ultimately hurt themselves by hurting each other, and in some small way, all they are seeking is atonement. Though both women had chances to kill each other, they chose not to, and it is in that choice of sparing a life that they both represent the best of The Last of Us. At the end of it all, after fighting their fears, omens, and inner demons, they choose not to continue mindless, senseless rage and death, and despite their own trauma, they choose forgiveness. Let me ask you this. If The Last of Us are all filled with darkness, hatred, and revenge, then where is the light left in humanity? Where does it end? Who will save us from ourselves? Naughty Dog's pseudo-realism in this game is far too close to home, and that's the poetic triumph of this game. In one fell swoop, Naughty Dog teaches us a deeper lesson about humanity and morality. The Last of Us are not like the wolves and Seraphites constantly battling for power and dominance due to sheer hatred and lack of understanding. The Last of Us were not like the Rattlers who exploited the vulnerable remains of society. The Last of Us was Ellie, Abby, and Lev, three individuals from three completely different paths that learnt to see each other as equals. The Last of Us ultimately learnt to forgive. To overcome hatred and darkness plaguing their hearts and minds, they found the light giving hope to this broken world. And if you still don't understand the game's message, then let's go back, right to the beginning of the game. This was the first image we see. Do you see this? Naughty Dog told us in one image what this game will be about: transformation and art. This right here is a moth. As you are probably aware, moths and butterflies go through a metamorphosis, kind of like this guy. See the wings? That right there is literal transformation, and that transformation symbolizes freedom. Ellie, much like the moth, transforms from child to adult, but more than that, it's her psyche which is transformed. She has learnt to finally let everything go, to peel herself away from the anger, frustration, hate, and inability to accept her situation, and finally find peace with herself, finally forgiving Joel for the decision he took away from her. With this new freedom, Ellie sets the guitar down and leaves, because some things are too painful to hold on to, but too important to forget.